On April 26th, the long-awaited Manor Lords will release into early access on PC via Steam and will also be available day one on Game Pass. This video is not sponsored, but Hooded Horse was so kind as to send me early access to the game, and I can certainly say that I have high hopes for the future of this one. If you like the city builders of the past, like Banished and Anno, I think you can definitely draw a lot of correlations to Manor Lords. Of course, it is its own game, and we will treat it as such as we load in. Keep in mind that this gameplay is early access, and it is not going to reflect the day one release. Many of the bugs and glitches that you see in my video will likely be gone by the time the game is public. So stick around, we're going to play some Manor Lords. And here we are. We have a new message. Let's take a look. Our victory condition will be dominance, which I would have set up in the beginning. Build our town, our manor, and when ready, press claims toward regions owned by your opponents. More on that in a moment. Here is the game map. You can see we are Goldhof up here, and these are owned by our enemy, Hildebolt von, however you say that. Lots of German names in here. Our goal will be to claim as many of these as possible, to eliminate him, and then challenge our off-map adversary. We are, however, very far off from that. We have nothing except for a homeless people's tent and some supplies. So we're going to need to be building up. Luckily, we do have a nice road here that we can start working with. And taking a look around, you're going to see we've got a couple of major deposits in the area and a very strong, rich deposit of berries, which will be quite useful as we are just getting into spring and the berries are going to be growing up. So we're going to need to be picking those up sooner rather than later. First and foremost, logging camp. We need to be building things, and you need lots of lumber for that. And for said berries, a forester's hut. There does seem to be a bit of hunting down here. We'll probably do that, but I think I'm going to hold off on that. We only have 5 families to be working, and we're going to need to make sure that we are making good use of our labor in the meantime. Not too fussed about stone or clay or iron at the moment. Build a storehouse and a granary. We'll put the granary right next to our berry hut, so that way they can get all that stuff managed. Lots of storage is going to be necessary because otherwise this stuff will just rot like RimWorld. You know, the rain will kill it basically. Farming, we're not going to be doing the first year, so we're going to hold off on that, but I'll explain it all as we go along. We do need to get these burgage plots though. In order to do that, I'm going to set aside some land here, and we are going to have our residential stuff sort of off to the side from our major regions because we obviously don't want to be interfering too much with the commercial stuff. And we're going to go ahead and unpause it. I'll put it on up to speed 4 here to start off. It can be a little slow, but luckily we've got 5 families that are all going to be doing some manual labor. If you don't know, they will do it all. If they are unassigned, they will do construction. That's kind of the gist. So you want to always have at least 1 or 2 of these, and obviously more is more. It will go faster, but each camp or, you know, occupational region will be occupied by 1 family that involves the family, as in like the father and the children generally, or the mother or whatever. And so you'll see once they finish construction on this logging camp, which looks very nice, might I add. Unreal Engine is a glorious engine, and I'm a big fan of it. You can see one of these guys, Jakob here, or Kuntz or Jakob, yeah, whatever his name is pulling the lumber here with that. And that is exactly how this works. He's going to drop it off. Now the camp will progress in its construction, and he's going to walk that ox back to its hitching post, which is over here somewhere. And speaking of, let's go ahead and move that closer to where the action is at, because obviously we're going to need that. We have another message here from Hildebont, our enemy. Heard of your renown. We could write back to him. You've got no rightful claim to those areas. Take that, you turd. I don't know if that actually does anything, but you know, might as well. But you can see up here at the top, we're gonna have some exposed goods. We're working on a storage for that. Exposed goods pantry, working on a storage for that. And homelessness, which we need timber for. We have 0 timber, which is why this logging camp is going to be set to high priority. So they will hopefully get to work on that construction. Once we get some boys working on logging, then we can start building up some homes. The sooner we get more homes, the more families will be moving in. Because right now, a population of 10 people, not very helpful. And as we build some homes, our approval will go up. As approval goes up, basically it creates a draw. So now that our logging camp is done, we can assign some families. Let's go ahead and just assign 3 families right off the rip. 2 families to do construction is plenty, considering the fact that most of them need lumber anyways, and we're waiting on lumber. So we're going to go ahead and let that run out. We have no fuel, but we also have no fuel consumption because we don't have any houses. So we'll have to worry about that. That will be another building here. It will be the woodcutter's lodge, which we will use to get some wood, which we'll just put it right across from the storehouse because that way you can just go right in. No big deal. Get some people on the forester's hut there, and we are obviously going to need to get some unassigned families. We can probably keep these guys on 3 at least for now until we've got some timber, which it does look like we actually have. So with that, we have enough for 6 houses. So let's go ahead and do this. And it's best to kind of take some extra space. Don't worry so much about, you know, ensuring that everything is packed in. It doesn't need to be. So what you can see right here is the housing sort of building setup. You do this by following the road. First click, second click. Then you drag it back to draw the plot line. So you can see there's only 4 here. So we want to go a little bit longer. And then you can see there on the back, on this side over here, there is a little house with a hammer on it. What that means is that this plot will be big enough to build the house, which is on the left. And then on the right is an extension. Now those extensions are going to be very useful early on, especially for getting a little bit of diversity of some stuff. So we're going to go ahead and let that run too. Now you can see here, if we go into our forester's hut and hover over people, Peter here is guiding the ox. He's a forester. So what he's going to do is he is going to finish up the job that he's doing right now, and then he should start working on getting some of these berries. That is a very good berry deposit. Lots of stuff over there. So hopefully he's going to go handle some of that. The first plot is done here, and you can see we can construct something in their backyard. It's probably not necessary right now. Money is very hard to come by early on, so I'm not going to worry too much about them right now because you can only do 1 per plot. So it could be best for us to just wait, and that's what we're going to do. But now we've got some houses, meaning we've got fuel consumption. We're going to need somebody on the woodcutters, but in order to do that, we need more population. So let's go ahead, see if we can get a couple more lots in here, 3 more houses, which would give us a surplus of 3, meaning we've got enough room for 3 more families to move in. And so that will allow us to start getting some population. More population means more people working. Obviously, that is what we need. Now, as that fuel level goes down, obviously we're going to need to get somebody working on wood cutting, but no need to do it now. We've got plenty of time, and summer is just around the corner, meaning we don't need to worry about the cold death grip of winter anytime soon. And here we go, a settlement level increase. So we have 1 point here. We're going to take that look at that in a moment. We've got a couple of resources here, and keep in mind, this is a little buggy. Some of this stuff doesn't necessarily show up very well. I am on an early access patch. I probably would have mentioned that in the intro. We have armament delivery, so we can form a militia. Now, I haven't really messed with this a whole lot, but what this does is this allows you to basically form a regiment that you can use for defense of your realm here. Spears, you can see here, we can form some spears. We've got 10 spearmen, but we don't have enough people, and they don't have enough spears, and they don't have enough shields. That being said, at least 10 of them are completely equipped, which means we've got 10 troops that are ready to go. It's not going to do much for us. 10 troops is not going to do much at all, but as we are able to grow that, we will continue to and get more men dedicated to that. We're going to, that's where some of these guys come in handy. You can see boots, armor, crossbows, and war bows, for example. So yeah, should be pretty good. And I definitely am aware that there's quite a few of these kind of missing localization strings, like the Burridge plot level too low. Ignore that. We're not too stressed about that. Oh, I'm an idiot. I put a forester's hut. No, that is not what I meant to put. Don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. I wanted to get a forager's hut, not a forester's. Silly me. But with this point here, we can take a look and see kind of what we have available to us. Now, with a rich berry deposit, it may be good for us to go with forest management. That would allow us to get quite a few more berries from that, and thus allow us to weather the winter a little bit better. We could go with charcoal burning, which will allow us to get firewood into charcoal. 1 firewood into 2 charcoal, meaning it is twice as efficient for that wintertime fuel. Early on, I don't think it's as important because wood is not any rare early on. We could go with a heavy plow, which allows you to plow the fields faster using oxen. We could do sheep breeding. Sheep will graze on pastures, slowly multiplying. Not too fussed about that. Basic iron making, which will allow you to get armor's workshops in the houses, which I'd shown before. Trade stuff, which is also quite useful. Trapping is good. We will need that when wintertime comes around, but I think for now we're going to go ahead and go with the double the berry deposits, and that alone is going to make things super useful for us. 256 food is that is a lot. Oh yeah, man. Putting that forester's lot instead of the foragers is I'm an idiot. That was definitely not correct. But once we get this guy built up, which is going to happen quite quickly here, you'll see we'll be able to get some food coming in, especially with that rich berry deposit. And now you can see it is growing quite quickly because of the seasonal stuff. They are picking those berries and bringing them back. There might be somebody taking it over to the granary, but yeah, all things will go quickly now. And as we build up these houses, we'll get some more population. You can see we've got 7 houses and we only have 5 families. So that means we've got plenty to go. And with homelessness gone, we will have our approval go up. And as our approval goes up, people will be looking to move in. In order to keep people happy, we're going to need a well. So let's go ahead and plop one down over here. People will be able to run to the end of the road here and fetch some water from the well. If families are requesting market area, so that is also quite easy. I think we can manage that. Go into our construction here, go into our residential area here, and a marketplace. So what the marketplace is it is a region where people are able to go and sell their goods that they produce in their various places of work. So as we have people, so somebody is working, you know, over at the Forager's Hut, they will set up a food stall, and that is probably what's going on right now, is they are building a food stall that they will then use to sell their berries to the various people. And now if I hold down my tab key, you can see here, we've got all of these houses who are, they are getting everything they need. They have food, they have firewood, they have clothing, and they have a church. Or maybe that's actually what they're missing. Yeah, that's what they're missing. But you can see the food supply is very good. So things are looking good for that. We also, since it is June, we need to start considering how we want to go about this. We don't have a whole lot of money. We could get some hides, which could be useful for some leather. We could get some vegetable gardens. We can get 3 of these or 2 chicken coops. I think I'm going to go with the 2 chicken coops. It's a little late in the year for us to be worrying about that, for farming rather. If anything, I feel like we need to get started on that in the spring. So we've spent all of our money. We will get more. It's not a huge deal, but you can see here now we've got some chicken coops with some chickens running around. They will passively produce eggs over time that will then be brought over here into the food stall. There we go. With our market food variety, things are going on the up and up, and as our approval goes over 50, people will start moving into these empty houses. And in order to preempt this, I think it would be best for us to get some more houses. You really cannot have too many houses. So we're gonna go ahead and just build up plenty more, and a little bit of a gap there, which will allow for a road to go through here, and then kind of lay it out that way. That way, more houses here or buildings or whatever. And now you can see we have 7 months of food and 5 months of fuel. So things are looking very good. We will be able to weather the winter, no problem. Now the tab menu is quite useful. You can see we have 1 of 4, 1 of 4, 1 of 3, 1 of 3. And that tells me how many people I have employed at this place of business, or this sort of job site, I guess. And you can see construction progress. You can see what the houses need, how many families live in said houses, what each stall is in the market. So things are quite useful. If you just hold down tab, you can see a lot of information here. Now we've got plenty of food here. I'm actually going to go ahead and pause this Forager's Hut. That way we can get more people working on construction for more houses. And now you can see our homelessness has gone away. The market food variety is going up, and we are going to finally get some population growth going on here as we get more and more favorability with approval with the people. People are going to start moving in, and that's kind of the only major thing we're waiting on. We've got plenty of houses being built, and so there should be a good kind of immigration pull into our area. Next project will be a saw pit. We're going to need that because we need more construction timber. That is going to be needed for other things, like we need to get ourselves a church. We need some timber for that. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. And look at this. Once we finish these 2 lots over here, we are going to have 14 houses. So 13 houses, actually. So yeah, we are looking very good. 14 houses. I can't do math. Meaning we can afford 9 more families to move into our area. So things are going to be moving up quite quickly. We have a bandit camp that was sighted. Now it's going to tell me whether or not it's close to me. If there's a bandit camp sighted anywhere, it's going to tell me that. Now what I could do is, if I wanted to, I could levy up my army. We could go and fight them. Probably not super intelligent considering the fact that there is a few of them, and they would probably boot me on the snoop. So we're just going to let them go. They're not going to bother me, and I'm not going to bother them for now. And here we go. 6 families, now up to 18 population. More people working on construction. That is all fine and dandy. I don't think we actually necessarily need all of these families. We've still got plenty of generic storage space, so we don't need to upgrade anything. We're just good to go. Saw pit is hard at work. They're working on converting that timber into planks. Once we get up to 20 planks there, that means we've got extra that we can use to build a church, which is going to be very useful for helping make everybody happy, because as you can see here, church and clothing, those are the only 2 things that we are still missing. So in an attempt to alleviate that issue here, we're going to go and start working on a hunting camp. Now what the hunting camp will do is they will move over into this area where you can see there are animals here, and they will hunt them down. They will give us meat. They will also give us hides. We can use those hides to make leather, which you can see right over, where are we at here? Leather at a tannery. And so I'll just put them right next to each other. One hand will go over into there, and that's 2 more families employed, and we will be able to also get some food for that, which obviously we're not worried about right now, but we are very much equipped for the winter. Up to 7 families now, looking very good. The church has been finished, which means we now are going to have that church level done. And now in order to upgrade these plots to level 2, all we need is a clothing stall. And in order to get the clothing stall, we need a family working at the tannery and a family hunting. That will bring the all of the meat and the hides in, which the meat will be brought over into our storehouse. And then the hides will go right over here, which will be brought into turned into leather, which will then be given to a clothing stall, which will fulfill that. Up to 8 families, total population of 24. So we are very much on our way to a small little town here. You can see here we've got some transporting going on. They're grabbing the hides, coming over here, crafting, and just like that, she is running this over. At least I think they're running it over to the storehouse, or heading over to the marketplace, building a clothing stall. Very good. And now, if I hold down my tab key, you're going to see these guys are soon. If you click on here, you can see clothing. They're currently in the process of bringing the clothing over. But there you go. We now have leather. If I hold down stat tab here, you can see this house is eligible to be upgraded. It has everything it needs. Let's go ahead and start upgrading that house. Now, upgrading the house is useful because you need it to get your settlement level up. But more importantly, you also unlock these guys here. Before this, you can only do the farm ones. All 3 of these extra ones are all unlocked upon that. So very useful. What these backyard extensions do is they essentially allow you to get passive bonuses without needing to dedicate entire families to it. For like the baking extension here, rather than building a communal oven, you can just have a bakery extension or 2, and those families will just passively make the bread and then sell their excess. So it's a really great way to kind of manage your population and have them be more useful and more efficient without necessarily dedicating them to an entire job. Winter's here, the snow is falling, and things will become very white very quickly here. We do have hunting going on, and obviously our foragers are paused, so we're just going to hang out and let these families start to fill in slowly over time, and we will get these guys all upgraded as we are able to. And once we get 2 of those Burgess lots upgraded, which we are in the process of, we are going to get the next upgrade. And I'm just going to continue upgrading them because once we get this one, I think we need 5, and then we will get the next level. And as we can unlock these points, we definitely want to do that. It's going to allow us to snowball a bit, which you obviously need to snowball just a bit if you want to take on your enemies. We're going to need more pops if we want to get more military power. I love this game. This is such a beautiful game. Look at this. Look at the mud. Looks so good. Hammering the nail. Obviously teleporting backwards a little bit like that, but you'll have that. But it looks so good. I love the little states that pop up, like as you hear the sounds hitting and them knocking on stuff with a hammer, you see the logs actually being added. Such a nice touch. With 7 months of food and 8 months of fuel, I think we're doing just fine. There is another level. Let's go ahead, take a look at what we want here. And as I said before, once we get those Burgess lots upgraded to level 3, we're going to be able to go more. So we have policies in here as well. We'll be able to get these once we start working on our government buildings. Production looks like it maybe isn't working as intended. So we're going to take some time to read through some of these. We could get some passive income from carts. There's something to consider. The kiln is always a nice idea as well. Let's also take a look here. Also collect hides from traps, and we can get double meat harvested by hunters. Definitely going to need armor eventually, but I don't think it's super important now. I think trade logistics might be the move because here better deals effectively reduces the price of all imports by 10. Let's go ahead and do that. We haven't done much with our imports yet, but might as well get started on it. Build it somewhere over here. Sounds good to me. But now you can see these level 2 plots require extra stuff. They require a tavern. They require church level 2, meaning we need to upgrade this church, meaning we got to pay to upgrade it. They also will require extra clothing, and basically what that means is more variety. So now these guys required linen or leather. Now they require shoes, clothes, or cloaks. So we're going to need to get working on that. And it just so happens we are able to get those produced right here in a workshop. So we're probably going to have at least 1 or 2 dedicated to shoes, and they will be able to provide their entire neighborhood with shoes, which is really cool. Up to 10 families, looking good. And as we finish those plots, getting them up to a level 2, we'll unlock our next goal here, which will probably go with better deals. That will allow us to get really good cheap imports, which will allow us to snowball a bit more. Gonna go ahead and plop this guy down here just because we've got the deposit right there, so we might as well build that road, get a little intersection set up there, get a family on it, no big deal. Get some stones. They're going to be useful for upgrading things. Speaking of that, we're also going to need some iron and some clay, so we'll get them built. Whether or not we're going to necessarily use them immediately remains to be seen, but at least having them there will mean we don't have to do it later. Spring is right around the corner, so I think we also need to start working on how we want to go about our farm here. This land is not very fertile whatsoever. So that is unfortunate. Not really good for farming, admittedly. I think we could probably make it down here. Let's connect up these roads here. Don't know why they're not. And what we can do with this farmhouse is you can assign them to a field. And as we have this field here, you can see we can basically say, hey guys, I want you to take care of this field. And we will allow it to build some wheat. 30% efficiency is absolutely terrible. It's a tragedy, but that's okay. As they get on there, we will get lots of wheat coming in, which means we will have lots more food. Obviously, with the berries being as effective as they are, that's really good. Sadly, we can't get them in the wintertime, of course, but spring and summer, they will be great. Then we'll have a ton of extra grain that we can turn into bread that we will be able to give us a passive boost over time. Meanwhile, we continue to upgrade these houses as we are able. Now, I do think it is actually time that we get a forester's lot built up, because a forester's hut rather, because our logging camp has run out of wood. Now, the farther they have to go, that means, you know, the slower they will get it. But if we get some trees being planted and all that stuff, all is well with that. We will, however, for now, move this on over here. And there we go. We will get better deals. And that means once we finish this trading post, we'll be able to import food and whatnot. It makes basically any sort of catastrophe we have for food much less impactful. Another bandit camp, not close at all. Nothing I'm concerned about. Raiders are near. We could track their movement. And so basically we've got these guys down here. We've also spotted another ruler's army. Again, it's nothing really too concerning for me. He isn't going to attack me, so we should be fine. But we do need to start considering how we want to arm our militiamen, meaning we're going to need spears and we're going to need shields. Now, in these level 2 homes, we can start working on some shields here. If we wanted to go with a joiner's workshop, I'm going to go with a cobbler's workshop, because that is going to improve our happiness here, which will finish up the clothing. We then need to upgrade our church here, which we will be able to do once we get some more stone and some shingles, I believe that is. And then we also are going to need to invest into this joiner's workshop. So let's go ahead and get one of those as well. Then we need some spears, which we are going to be able to, as we have a mining pit now. Or a mining pit now is what I meant to say. We're still waiting on things to be constructed, but aside from that, all is well. I'm also going to go ahead and upgrade this hitching post, because once we get the money, we're going to need to get a second ox. We are definitely struggling with having people moving around. Our berry deposits are on the up and up, so let's go ahead and unpause here. Get 2 families working on foraging. Should be good. Yeah, it looks like these guys over here are actually making their way towards a bandit camp. So we got to be mindful, because what that does is that allows him to get more influence that he can then use to purchase these plots here. So we need to get our influence up, and the best way to do that is to kill these bandit camps. Obviously, we're not really in a position to do that, so we are coming from behind, but not the end of the world. Once we get our ironworking set up, we'll be able to get started on some spears, and then we can actually train up a decent sizable army. Obviously, we need more men as well. More population will be useful for that as well. And once this farmhouse is finished, we will get people assigned to it. They will start working the fields, and it's going to take some time, but hopefully we'll be able to get at least something from them. Realistically, I don't think we need it right now. I would actually, no, you know what? I would actually rather pause this, have those guys be working on building up some stuff. We need to get those spears and stuff, because we do need to start getting some bandits killed off if we want to be useful. All the while, we need to make sure that we are keeping the lots being built. That is going to be very important. Let's assign 1 family to the mining pit, get that started. They will take stuff over to the storehouse, and all will be well with that. Go ahead and purchase another ox for the stable. And now you can see our approval is skyrocketing. Food variety, a church, clothing, everything is on the up and up. And all we need is a little bit more stone, some wood, and some shingles. I think we can manage that. And now that we've got some iron ore going on, we can begin the process of getting it sorted out. We also need the clay, which the clay deposit is also going to be worked, meaning we're going to need more families. We're working on some houses. Everything is coming along smoothly, I think. And with the trading post finished, you can see we can assign horses to it. We can assign, livestock to it in general. And what we can do here mostly is in the trade menu, you can see we can order, buy, trade, sell. We can sell stuff, which we will probably sell some excess, because what we can do with that is use that money to then purchase upgrades for these houses. So I said shingles, they're roof tiles. I knew that. We do have a lot of these small shields, and I think once we get those going, we can probably sell them. Now, I was under the impression that these guys would be building them, but it doesn't look like they actually are. This joiner's place, it says that they will... Hey, yo, we got a fire? We got a house fire. What's this about? Can they put it out? It's right next to the well. Okay, so I guess this house just burned down. That's unfortunate. Now we've got some clay and some iron coming in. I say we get working on getting some of that processed. This can be our sort of industrial area over here off this road. Also needed a family assigned to the stonecutter camp. We can get working on that as well. Meanwhile, food and fuel coming along smoothly. Yeah, I don't think this farmhouse is necessary, and at least until next year. As long as we have this rich berry deposit, I think we're honestly doing just fine. We could just outright sell these iron slabs, but I don't think that's smart. Taking care of it from iron ore up to a slab does increase the export price, but I think I would rather actually get it gone over here into tools before we do anything else. And I do believe the smithy will make more than just tools. No, it does just craft tools. Okay. Right. And so if we wanted to, we could actually turn this Burgess lot into a blacksmith shop. We need those spears, so let's go ahead and find one that we can do that with then. And here we go, a blacksmith shop, just like that. Now we've got lots of houses, and I think we're going to need to build some more. We've got plenty of timber, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to go down this whole line here. Why not? The city must grow. 8 more houses. We are definitely growing up quickly. All the while, we're going to continue to spend our timber on upgrading these houses. Because you'll see for the next level, we need level 3 or higher, which means we're going to need to get working on a tavern, upgrading our church. Lots of things to constantly keep you busy, you know? We also need to process this clay at the clay furnace, so let's go ahead and get one of those guys built here. So there's a bandit camp here, and an army of our enemy here. Looks like they're probably just going to march right over and take them out. I am tempted to actually give it a try and see what we can do. We don't still have enough spears, though, or the large shield. So I think we're going to try gearing up our men a bit more before we go off on any military things. Population is absolutely skyrocketing as we have all of these houses being built. So I say we get yet another row, looking like American suburbia over here. Yeah, so they're marching right through here, but it's fine. They're just friendly, or neutral at least. They're on their way over to go fight them. They've got some bows and arrows. Looks like they actually all have bows and arrows with these guys. And then these guys are just brigands. So yeah, they'd probably mow us down if we got into a fight with them. So probably better to bide our time. Go ahead and get this clay furnace working so we can get started on that. And that is another set of houses here. And that means more people for us to bring in, though that does also mean a higher demand for food. So let's go ahead and make sure we're getting those berries brought in. October is here, so we need to make sure if we're going to be up in our population that we are able to keep up with that in terms of fuel and food. Let's go ahead and create a trade route here and sell off some of these tools. We go to export here, say keep at least 10, and we'll sell all the excess ones. It does require us to assign a family to that, meaning, you know, we're gonna have to wait for more families to move in before we can do much, but that's honestly fine. You can see here that our public order has also dropped just a bit, which is totally understandable considering the fact that we do not have any government in charge right now. So let's go ahead and build our manor here. Once we get enough supplies, it does look like we are really struggling to keep up with the saw pit. We also can sell off a bunch of these small shields. So let's go ahead and establish that trade route as well after my game saves apparently. And then what we can do is we can make some money off of those small shields to export those. Let's keep, you know, 30 or so, and then we will import these large shields until we've got, say, 20. So our money will find like an equilibrium. It will go down and up as we are able to, and then once we have the stuff to build it, we're going to build our manor here. That will increase our public order here. Look at that, 150 in, 120 out. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Got our sidearms going in there, and that means we should be getting spears here shortly as well. We've got all of the shields we need, and now we're just waiting on spears. As far as I know, there isn't a way to like pick which ones they're making. Like I want them to make more spears, but oh, here it is. Haha. And I imagine that's the same at the joiner's workshop. Now I feel foolish. And that means we did not need this trade route. Unfortunate. I'll export the excess anyways then. Now we can start upgrading more of these places. Let's go ahead and get some gambesons and some bows. Plenty of food and fuel. Winter number 2 should be going just fine. So yeah, I think as these spears are produced, they're going to fill out the Burgage lots. Now the Burgage lots are the ones who, these are the people that actually join here. So that 2 of 2 is 2 of this 20 here. So it's 1/10. So there you go. Our approval is like sky high as well. It's incredible. Looks like we need some linen for these gambesons. Interesting. Okay, I don't have that, but I can do it. So we need wool to produce yarn and flax to produce linen. So it looks like we're going to have to be employing some people in the fields. No big deal. We do have quite a few empty houses here. So this bandit camp here is close by, and I vote we give it a try here. Now, I'm still not getting any spears. I'm sure it's something I'm doing, but we're going to try to give. We're going to see what we can do here. Oh yeah, the reason is because I don't have anybody making the slabs. Right, I knew that. We also have no planks because it's all going into these shields. So maybe I shouldn't be selling the shields anymore. Let's go ahead and put those on no trade, and we'll pause that building so they're not going to be making any more shields. That should allow us to get more planks, which then we can use to upgrade their churches and then get the tavern building so we can start upgrading these to tier 3 houses. So ideally we're going to start seeing some spears ticking up here. Then we can go take on those bandits. That will give us some influence that we might be able to use to expand, maybe even get a second city, which would be great for us. And let's upgrade our church to a small stone church. And let's build that tavern we've been talking about. Right on the corner there. Great location. Springtime is here. I do think we need to get started on this. And I think we're going to... Oh, flax is 6%. Never mind, man. Looks like we're going to have to import those linens. I don't think we're going to be growing them anytime soon. So we can import them for 4. Or we could import the flax for 2. And then have our people go ahead and just do it themselves. I think we're going to import the flax and have our people process it. And with a weaver workshop, we can just plop that down right here. And there you go. They should get to work on that. There we go. We've got some influence here. We'll be able to use that influence to purchase stuff. So we have an enemy that has been spotted. It does look like they may be coming our way. And yes, they are here. My goodness. Okay, well, ready or not, we've got 27 spears. So let's go ahead and rally our boyos and have them come on over. Not the best spot to be fighting. Let's have them come on over here. And they should get brought out over here. So let's have them line up 2 deep. And those guys, the brigands, should come and attack. So we'll go forward just a bit here. And as our boys make their way over... Looks like they're stuck in the church. What's this about? Come on now. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know. They were being dum-dums. I don't think we're going to be able to fight them there. Let's fight them right here in the streets. They will come and attack me. And as long as they don't kill any civilians, I don't really care a whole lot. So, go on. Stand your ground. Get a little bit of defensiveness. Effectiveness 110. These guys are charging and they'll go in. And we've got good weapons and they do not. They've got little maces made with like bats with nails in it. We have legit spears and shields. So we should be okay here. You see our boys are doing good. They're on the offense. Our guys are running. No need to run. But I'm pretty sure that as long as, yeah, we just stand our ground here. They're at 77%. Looks like my boys are at 70%. These guys are at 83. Not really sure how the effectiveness is being calculated. They've lost 2 men, and we haven't lost any yet. These guys are just standing back here cheering, so it looks like we're doing okay. Down to 14. I imagine that, yeah, their morale there on the top. They are going to rout here very shortly, and we'll have our first battle with, hopefully, no casualties if all goes according to plan. Let's go ahead and speed that up just a bit, and there you go. They're starting to give just a bit. We still have not lost any men, and just like that, we have won. Wonderful. Let's disband that unit. We've got some bodies around here. I think we can probably handle them. I believe it would be a corpse pit. So you find a place to toss them and you do it. There you go. Not bad. Game blouses. A little morbid though. Just a little bit. Shame we can't take their weapons. Be nice to use them or at least repurpose them. We now have our tavern, which means we should be quite close to actually getting some upgrades here. It does look like the people are demanding a little bit more variety in their diet. So let's go ahead and build a couple more eggs here, or chicken coops rather, not eggs. We don't build the eggs, we grow the eggs inside of chickens' butts and then they poop them out. All good, because we definitely want to get those burgage lots up to tier 3. Planks are being taken for what I assume is construction. I actually don't know. Yeah, construction, I think. We need those planks so we can build our manor. I am the Manor Lord after all. I am tempted to take out that bandit camp, and I think I'm going to do that. Let's go ahead and get our boys rallied up on the road here, and we're going to have them head on over and take out that bandit camp. We're going to need that influence if we want to be able to grow our control in the area. I'll have them just cut through. No need to run. Otherwise, they'll be all exhausted and fatigued. We want their fatigue to be maximum whenever they get over there. Obviously, this does mean time that our people are not being productive, but it is what it is. Let's have them line up 2 by 2 over here, and hopefully we can just have them march forward here. I imagine this camp is going to not be... I imagine that they'll come out to meet me. Maybe not. Looks like they're actually gone. Can I just go in and capture it? It looks like it. Pretty sure I get some money and some influence for that, so that's really good for us. There we go. Send the resources to the nearest town. Belongs to my treasury now. Okay, well, obviously we would rather it go to the town itself. 154 regional wealth, not bad. So now these guys need to go home, apparently, which is unfortunate. It's quite a ways, but that's okay. There's another bandit camp here. It looks like they're on the way to be handled by these guys. So we'll just get our boys home and get them disbanded. Our storage house is full, so let's go ahead and upgrade to that as well. I lied. Let's head over to this bandit camp. It looks like they've been taken out by these guys. So we can just grab it, I think. Yeah, they're neutral. They're not attacking me. So there's no reason for me to be worried about those guys going towards my settlement. As far as I know, I should be safe. Making me nervous, though. I'm not going to lie, man. Either way, I'll take that camp and we can have that money for our own people, which is nice. Money to buy things. Yeah, they're just marching through. I think we're safe. And let's get those guys across the border, disband them. They can go back, get to work. Now we've got lots of money to be building upgrades in people's houses, which we need to be doing. Let's also get some import of some barley. I think that would be useful as well. We could get some people with some breweries in their home. You can actually build those in their home, and that will be useful. Before we do that, though, we need to process it into malt. So let's go ahead and find that one right here. Malt house, easy enough. I'm going to start upgrading these houses a bit as well. It says that my population is not going up despite having lots of empty houses, and I assume that has something to do with a certain demand of quality, if I had to guess. Because we need more population. We need more people. We need more people because those people are the ones who are going to be working the jobs. And if we need more jobs, that means we need more bodies to put in them. Another bandit camp, not too far off. I think we're going to go ahead and get our boys together. I think just the spear militia is fine. Let's go ahead and rally them and head on over and handle those bandits. That way we can get that influence. We need to grow our influence. Yeah, it looks like he's on his way to handle them as well, so we need to get there before him if possible. Don't want to get too exhausted there, but we need to make sure that we are getting there before him. So we're going to let our fatigue go about halfway, and then we'll, just walk the rest of the way. Looks like they're coming to meet me, so let's go ahead and get our boys lined up here. Let them get a little bit of rest. We are uphill from them as well, so we should be good to go. And just like that, we should lay the smack down on them, Johns. That will give us our influence that we need and should be good to go. These guys are coming in as well to hit them from the back. There you go. We got our influence, maybe? Doesn't look like we did, but either way. No way. It looks like he's trying to claim land. No way. He's trying to claim this land? I don't believe so, man. I do not want that to happen. He would beat me right now if we were to challenge him. We need to figure that out. We're going to claim it on the battlefield here. It looks like we are winning. I don't know exactly how this works. He's going to march his men over to attack me. That'll be tough, but I think we might be able to make it work. Going to need to get these guys into our home base and get them kind of assembled. We'll see what we can do here. Get some archers here. And let's have these guys rally over here. Now, we just kind of want to get all of our guys who are equipped set up, and then they need to get a defensive position at the top of the hill. Let the archers rain down on them. We'll see how things go with this. Let's have these guys on the other side of the river here by 2, and have these guys up behind them by 2. We should be able to meet them out here. Let's not sprint. Looks like we're doing just fine there. No need to run. So they have light mercenary infantry and mercenary spearmen. I don't have any personal wealth, so I have to be careful because I'm pretty sure I cannot get mercs, can I? Treasury costs. Yeah, so I don't think I can do this because I've been giving all the money to the treasury. We'll see how things go with this. This battle very well may not go well for me. I have no idea. Oh no, what? Hold on a minute. Where did they even come from, bro? Oh no, they're burning down my town. And I can't surrender. It's locked in early access. This game. Well, lads, moral of the story is do not. The battle for Svial, yeah, I think the battle has begun. I'm pretty sure I lost, considering the fact that they just burned down all of my houses. Well, all right, cool. Well, how's that for a little look here? You mess around and you're going to find out. So maybe if you're going to contest a land grab by your enemy, you are a little more prepared, but just a small taste of what you can expect in Manor Lords. If you want to see more on the channel, make sure you let me know. Leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe and ding the bell so you get notified when these videos go up live.